Why are men angrier than ever? Firstly, this isn't a diss on men. I'm a guy and certainly have my own share of general complaints and disappointments that I believe all people experience at some point. I'm just not that angry. I've met so many men, especially in small towns, who feel society has done them wrong. These guys typically have a house, truck, boat, family, other toys, snowmobiles, ATVs, etc., and potentially even kids in college if a bit older. Aside from desiring more money in the bank account, I can't understand why they're more angry at the world than ever. They seem to have it made. I'm not sure if men are more angry these days as much as social media makes it way more visible. Why are men angrier than ever? This is question number 2. Question number 1: are they really angrier than ever? Depression. Despite how the media portrays depression in men, it mostly presents itself as anger, not melancholy and sadness. I don't think it's just men. People are angrier than ever. And it's largely because of social media and other mass media, like Fox News and CNN. Everywhere we look, they deliberately show us things that make us feel bad, angry, sad, scared, etc. It works. There are plenty of reasons certain groups of men could be angrier. But what you're describing here, the cognitive dissonance of men who ostensibly have it good but nonetheless feel wronged by society, that is purely a product of propaganda. There's a certain genre of news media, film, television, podcasts, and health wellness products that have realized you can make men into loyal consumers if you make them feel angry and victimized. News consumption. I often forget Reddit is an American platform. I was like, what is going on and what I have missed? Still, as some said, seems to be a certain type of men. Too specific to say why are men angrier than ever. Somewhat anecdotal. I personally see men generally getting less angry, less traditionally masculine, less confined by expectations, roles, responsibilities, and experiencing more agency to do what they actually want to do. But agree, smaller isolated communities generally progress slower than diverse metropolises. Social media makes men seem like this. In reality, plenty of men, in fact the majority of men, are normal. Because life fucking sucks and we're all being held down by rich fucks who simultaneously scoff at us dressing as Walmart cashiers for Halloween while expecting us to do their oil changes. I never used to be politically active to the point I'd trade my life for my ideals. But every year takes me closer to a rage there's no coming back from. Most men lead lives of quiet desperation. Though some men are being less quiet about it nowadays. That's the only difference. Depends which men you are talking about. But some men are for sure being made angry for money, often in the form of clicks and votes. I'd blame media. I have friends that fit this description. People who until very recently were people I would describe as normal. Instead, I hear them parrot the same talking points from talk radio, news outlets, and social media posts. Things they never cared about before are now front and center priorities in their mind because the people they listen to tell them you need to be angry about this. Wages are low, bills are high, and we're tired of the grind. A few years ago I was what you described. Affordable rent, beautiful truck out front, multiple vacations a year. Things are so bad now I had to sell my car a few months ago and cannot afford to buy another. My girlfriend and I are absolutely paycheck to paycheck. You can't just triple the cost of living and expect us to be okay. Men have been told to be providers, then watch helplessly as the costs of living outpace their wage increases. Big business profits off of insecurity disguised as masculinity and played a shell game that conned men out of their own personal security. I'm guessing you either know some people dealing with deeper personal conflicts they aren't sharing, or are paying too much attention to social media. I know a lot of married folks, exactly like you describe, back in my small hometown, and they're the happiest, calmest people in my social circle. We are told we are the most advantaged group of society, but that doesn't change that a lot of us will still go through extreme hardship. It's easier to deal with that when you feel like you are seen and can rely on others' help. Understanding. But not feeling so can cause a certain resentment. A certain group of people actually turn to racism, misogyny as defense to explain away their lack of success. We all live under late-stage capitalism and life isn't meritocratic. Resentment should be turned towards the actual cause of our hardship and not each other. They've been deprived of any role or meaning, clamped down on harder by government, and are denied the benefits of solidarity. What does it mean to control someone? It means that you can predictably trigger certain behavior. How do you do that? You need to create a triggering belief. Something that creates a reliable feeling that will dictate action. What is a good triggering belief? That you are being deprived. How do you do that in a population that has everything they could want? You tell them it could all be taken away by those who have less. How does that work? You convince them prosperity is zero-sum. In order for them to get ahead, others need to fall behind. If others gain more, it will be at your expense. Who are these others? People not like you. The toys you describe are mostly on credit. The angriest may be in online echo chambers designed to manipulate. Honestly, I think everyone is angrier. The world is slowly falling apart and everyone is being screwed by it, even if they have no issues or have done nothing wrong. Just existing is a struggle, and a lot of people are upset that they can't survive when they didn't even ask to be born. One thing I noticed after living in another country, I'm American, is that a massive amount of Americans are fucking spoiled. They've never really had things that hard, which is great, but also made a lot of men into little princes who feel entitled to everything because they work. I know there are plenty of people who don't fit that mold, but they're not the ones grabbing our attention. They're just living and enjoying life regardless of their circumstances. Because since 1996 Fox News has spent 24 hours a day rage farming. There's a male loneliness epidemic. Are we though? It's because they keep getting tricked into voting against their own interests. I heard a thing about hoflation. A man needs to work 4x as hard as his grandfather did to get a woman who is less than half the quality of their grandmother. I think a lot of dudes are just sick of dumping their 100 effort into a relationship to get 20 back. Because they can't stand that women and queer people get to exist as more than punching bags now. Okay, that is a joke. But I'm kinda not joking also. If you look at Peterson fans or Tate fans, it's pretty obvious a lot of them are hurt that people who they think ought to be subservient to them no longer are. I'm a straight white cis man. I constantly feel like I am being told from multiple sources, social media, mainstream media, entertainment companies, etc., that not only do I not matter, but I'm the root cause of all the world's evil. You'll see TikToks of people asking, "Are men trash?" And a bunch of women saying hell yeah, or "Do white lives matter?" and people saying hell no. Is that how real life actually is? No. I'm sure most people have a live and let live attitude. But damn if I don't feel annoyed by the manufactured outrage sometimes.